All right, welcome to Truth Be Told. I'm Tony Sweet. I have Captain Ron here, the one and only. We are excited to have in studio. He is a kind of a co-founder of OnStellar, which we are on now and verified. Yeah. And we're going to find out what OnStellar is for our audience.
We've been hearing about it lately.
We've been hearing a lot about it lately. And so we're going to talk with him all about what's going on this platform. And we have live in studio Desh Weragoda. Is that right?
Perfect. You got it right.
All right.
Good work.
So
couldn't say Gobleke Teple, but
yeah, I couldn't say crap with that one. But thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
And just pull that microphone a little bit closer so we can hear you. And I want to know. So you're the EV or the executive vice president.
That's correct.
So tell us first of all, what is OnStellar?
So OnStellar is a social media platform, and really it combines Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram for the like-minded individual. It's subject-specific social media platform.
Right.
So everything from the metaphysical to the paranormal is covered in there.
So our audience, Tony.
It's
Exactly.
our audience and us.
And us.
So what I kind of have a gist of why this was created because of with everything with YouTube and everything. But could you tell us the concept of why it was created?
Absolutely. So if you look at the state of current social media, you can see that there is obviously a lot of censorship. There's a lack of privacy. There's a lot of data tracking. Right. And a lot of advertising wherever you go. You know, when you go through your Facebook feed, every other post or content is an ad. Mm-hmm. So the other reason is that when we wanted to find this kind of information, or when I wanted to find out this kind of information, you'd have to go to Google and find all sorts of places that it's kind of like decentralized. It's sort of everywhere. Right. So we wanted to bring together the luxuries of modern day social media and the community and put them all in one place where the community and technology can thrive so that people can meet other like-minded individuals, share and post content, and connect, collaborate, and ultimately monetize.
Now, is this limited to anyone, or is this open to everyone?
Limited to anyone. Yes, it is. It is
well,
limited to anyone.
It is limited
to
if you don't fall under that umbrella, you're out. I'm sorry.
But there are certain websites that do limit who they want on their
We don't actually
sites.
Limit that, but what we do want users to be aware of is that this is subject specific. You know, it's not a place that can post cat pictures or your baby shower, things like that.
Well, it's not going to draw those people in anyway. They're not going to be interested. They're going to come to this and they're going to leave. Yeah. This is for people that are into this subculture of these kind of things.
Exactly.
And so, what is your hope of? I mean, I'm hoping there's millions of people that join this, but it is a kind of a cap, a ceiling of people that are interested in this genre. So how is this going to be supported if there's no ads, and if you don't expect to have billions of people like Facebook? How are you going to support the website itself?
That's a great question. So if you look at Facebook's existing business model, it really relies on ads and turning the user into a product and selling you, right? Our system is
that's what it was designed to do.
Yeah,
I mean, from
and then it also gets you addicted to how they run it and all these feedback loops. Anyway, what we want to do is kind of turn that business model upside down and kind of flip it over, and we want to reward the content creators and the curators. And once we implement blockchain into that platform, people that post content, that upload or discover or share content will get rewarded, and that's how we also get rewarded as well, through that blockchain platform. We're also going to be having some sort of like premium services, higher-end hosting, e-commerce, where almost like peer-to-peer sales, things like that. And so we hope to make a little bit off the top there on those kinds of activities.
That's a great idea, like a little mini eBay thing within this community. You
Absolutely.
could sell crystals. You could sell Truth Be Told T-shirts, for example.
And awesome. This is the perfect place to do it because you have a concentrated audience.
Right.
It's interesting to find out that. So I've done a lot of in my past. I've done a lot of Facebook advertising and SEO before at work, and it's interesting to know that even though somebody has a lot of like million, let's say, of Facebook followers, the engagement level on those followers is very, very low. I mean, I'm talking astronomically low.
Especially since they changed the algorithms where it's hard to even get noticed at all anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But in this case, what you have is a very focused audience that is in tune with what you're sharing in terms of content. So they're more likely to participate and engage with you or your business or whatever it is than, let's say, Facebook, which is a very broad demographic.
It's a great idea. It
No, I
feels
think
like you
it's a
could
great
segment a lot of different categories in life for that. But this group specifically are very engaging, and they're thirsty for knowledge. We're thirsty for knowledge. We always want something new about any of these topics, any new discoveries.
Exactly.
So and they're always, and if they have their own stories, they want to share those. It's a really good idea.
And why,
really
why on Stellar? What? Because there's always an appeal in the name. So what was the concept of the name on Stellar?
Well, it was we worked with
real quick, because somebody asked me when I posted the other day. They said, "Is this like OnStar?"
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even make that connection. That's good.
So finding a name for a platform is really hard these days. You have to come up with these made up names.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like app name, domain. Pretty much all domain names are essentially sold out. But we wanted something that connected and resonated, but that was also easy to remember. We didn't want people to fumble. How do I spell this thing out?
Right.
Stellar's a good word too. I like that.
Typically, if you think about it, on Stellar is where the unexplained lives, right? And there's a lot of unexplained out there in the cosmos, in the world, in the universe. And so all our people are stellar citizens. And it was just a very simple, easy name, and you're at On Stellar. And the founders and I, we collaborated and talked about it, and that's how we came up with the name.
I think it's a great
name.
It's a great,
thank you,
great name, great idea.
Now with the popularity, because I think Facebook probably would have, well, maybe I'm probably wrong on that, but if it wasn't for Facebook Live, this live streaming and Periscope Live and YouTube Live, are you planning on adding that feature in the future?
Absolutely. So we know live streaming is the future, and we know video is the future.
Right.
Images are going to probably be transformed into short bursts of videos now. You can see that happening on Instagram,
everywhere.
Right? Everywhere, right? So we want to implement live streaming, but without the catch of having your data stored somewhere else, because we don't want to, come into an issue where a user uploads some video. Like, for example, if you go on YouTube, right, you have to have an X amount of subscribers before you could actually monetize it.
Yeah.
You can't do anything unless you meet a certain subscription level. We also want to make sure that if somebody says, government comes up and says, hey, you can't have that content there. Well, hey, the content is decentralized. We don't actually own any of the content or store any of the content. So it's elsewhere. So yeah, the answer is yes, we're going to have live streaming, and we're going to do it in an innovative fashion.
And how do you, I know owning UBN and just storing of podcasting and streaming can be very expensive, especially storage. How do you how do you not go bankrupt just trying to add live video and storage of all that content?
I love that question. So what blockchain allows us to do, all right, is basically decentralize the content that's split. Now, are you aware of what torrents are? Okay, torrents are basically...
That's where people pirate down stuff, right, with BitTorrents and stuff.
It could be used that way,
yeah.
right?
Not that I would ever...
torrent is a way of distributing one file to many people and then reaccessing that file where, like, okay, you have 10 megs of that file. You have that 10 megs of that file. I'm able to pull from both of you guys that whole file, but piece by piece by piece from everybody else.
Right.
So rather than one file being stored centrally, it's distributed among a peer group, which is our user base, and that way you could live stream content or videos that are hosted.
I love
That's
that.
above my pay grade, but it sounds great.
Honestly, our engineers are much better at explaining this, but the general idea is that a piece of content comes in, gets multiplied into multiple pieces, into all sorts of small pieces, and you pull from each individual person, peer-to-peer video content.
No, I love it. And I know with the security now and the privacy issues, how do you maneuver with the government regulations but not get so embedded with the government, where because everybody's Facebook is CIA owns them and Twitter is owned by CIA. So how do you get around that, so where people are like, oh, you've been bought out by FBI or CIA or something.
This will be the group that first thinks of that.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to be very skeptical of what do they want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't actually store any of this. As much information as we can, we try to store off on the blockchain, right? So in terms of if the government says, hey, we need this information, we just simply tell them, hey, we don't have that information to give you because it's decentralized, right?
That's pretty cool.
And we have to actually go into our own type of hosting, our own servers that are not necessarily owned by, for example, Amazon, all that. They have their own hosting services, Google's hosting services. They're all pretty much set up and hosted in the U.S., if not in certain areas of the world. And what we do is we don't actually store any of that stuff here. We, like I said, redistribute that once the blockchain is implemented. Right now, we're in beta phase.
Right.
We're getting the blockchain, working on that blockchain implementation. But essentially, when they come to us, we tell them we don't have any of this data. That's the truth.
This is all going this blockchain way. This is the future.
Yeah, it's awesome because it can be used in so many areas of your life, and you could take something that is at a centralized area and kind of just distribute it around the world. And what's cool is that it has a global impact on it. And one other thing, we actually allow you right now on Stellar, you get complete privacy and security control. So you go into your privacy settings, you can choose every single minute option of what you want to share and what you don't want to share.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And
we don't track any data at all.
Oh, none.
Nothing.
So you don't use this for future marketing purposes?
No, not even. No.
Wow. That's very unheard
It
of.
seems like the Craigslist of this kind of a thing. Like you guys, like that was just such a noble idea when Craigslist started.
Right.
Craigslist is not for any of that. They didn't want to monetize it, that whole thing, when he started that. It's the same kind of an idea, which is great. That's the right reason. This is really seems very noble. It feels like what the whole internet thing is for.
Our purpose is if we can serve the community, hopefully we'll be justly rewarded down the line.
Right.
And
yeah, that's right. You have enough of a nice core audience here.
Yeah, I mean, our community's been very, very supportive and very positive feedback.
I look at it. We just actually started not too long ago, and thanks to Jimmy Church, we are verified, which
Jimmy
is
Church.
Awesome. But I think a lot of people nowadays get very skeptical on even joining a new platform because they're going to go, that's not going to be there very long. Why should I even join? So because I think the way you're supported, I think this is a platform that's going to be successful because of the way it's supported, and you're not doing the traditional, marketing of advertisements and stuff like that. But for the people that are listening today, what is the incentive of just even an everyday person? What can they learn from joining on Stellar.com? What can they learn from just joining, even if they're just an everyday person?
Absolutely. So other than having a first-class social media experience, what they can learn is if they're into a specific subject or any kind of topic that they're interested in, even everyday topics, right? You could learn things that are not necessarily shared on the mainstream media. Politics comes into mind, any of like the declassified. There's this amazing contributor on the platform who releases FOIA, I believe it's called, FOIA documents.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah, exactly. He releases all of this information on our platform for our users to see and
That's great.
engage in, and he does it for free.
Wow.
And so you could see amazing.
That's good. I can't. Boy, his name's eluding me. It's the Black Vault guy,
yes,
right?
John Greenwald.
John Greenwald. Thank you
John
very
Greenwald.
much. I say that's because that's what he does on his own.
That's right.
It's great to have him part of this community because he's a perfect guy for that.
What happens is we've aggregated all these communities, all these people, and if you go to our trending, now we have My Feed, Trending, and New. My Feed is kind of like it only shows article cards and posts of who you're friends with or who you follow. Trending is a combination of what's basically hot, and then New is just newly submitted content. And when you go to Trending or New, you're always going to see all sorts of content from all sorts of people from the community or individuals or contributors to the platform. And so, as you go through these, our system is a very visual system. We focused on.
It
on,
is very visual.
We focused on the picture first because that's really what stands out to people. Like, okay, I'm gonna look at the picture, then I'm gonna look at the one line below it that describes what it is. Because people they've become used to scrolling and absorbing information real quickly. If I can't see by looking at something,
Get the whole story in 10 seconds.
If I don't get that whole story in 10 seconds, I'm done. So we try to cater to that and make that very simple. So, you get to see all sorts of information that you wouldn't be exposed to otherwise, or you might find difficult to locate at OnStellar.
Yeah, see, like the tiny bit that I use Facebook, I have to really dig to find anything that interests me because most of it I just don't care. But I'm scrolling through this, and they've got stuff about cryptids, UFOs, every single one of the pyramids. Every single one of these is like, I'm going to waste a lot of time on this. It scares me.
Yeah, I'm actually showing the visual right now of Truth Be Told, and I'm kind of
That's our page there.
This is our page.
Oh,
here.
there it is. You guys got it loaded. Awesome.
Yeah, and so I want to know who is the designer, because I'm sure you went through to find out what works for you on other platforms and what doesn't work for you. So how was the design process for this?
So this is an awesome question too, and I love answering this question because we actually looked at a lot of other social media platforms, and ultimately what we wanted to do was incorporate some existing interfaces or standards, right? So we wanted to increase adoption by increasing familiarity, so that if they're already familiar with the existing
like
social
Facebook
landscape,
like
it's going to be very easy for them to come on and be like, oh, I know what I'm doing on here.
Sure.
Right? And so, but you could see that our main page, like our article cards and posts, is completely different. And so James, who's our creative director, he's the guy that actually, we worked on this for actually months on figuring out how to get this designed, how to make it easy. And it's all fully responsive. The design actually stays uniform and conforms to pretty much mobile, tablet, however it is, right? So you have the same experience throughout. So we spent a lot of time figuring out how to make it intuitive, simple, and informative. And we took a lot of information or a lot of experiences that other people had on other social media websites and kind of integrated into ours and have like this hybrid.
Yeah. Oh, because like the trending kind of reminds me of a little bit of Twitter trend, and then also Pinterest.
You got it. Yeah. So we got Pinterest. We got some people say Tumblr.
Yeah.
Another thing would be like Reddit. All those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So as long as people come in here and they're like, oh, okay, this is easy to use because I could click on something and see the information. It's that easy. So creating an article card, for example, let's say you want to create an article about something that you're interested in, a Bigfoot or whatever it is. It's easy as clicking my write article, and then we give you this easy what you see is what you get editor, right? Put your pictures in. You could edit your text, all that. You don't need to know anything technical. It's all drag and drop, select options, create article, and bam, you got this beautiful blog style article in there.
Now, I know like YouTube and Facebook are not really friends. And so if you take a YouTube clip or link and put it on Facebook, a lot of times they kind of block a lot of it. How are you with other platforms? Like,
we allow you to embed from other platforms.
Oh, that's
because
good.
We want you to get exposure. Not block out other platforms. We want you to get as much exposure as you can. So there's a lot of people that depend on YouTube or their other social media channels. That's really how they generate revenue, right? And so what we do is, if you post a YouTube link, we have the system that auto embeds it, just like how other platforms will do, and you could play that YouTube link directly through our platform.
See, what's great about that is, like, on here, you're preaching to the choir. These people are into this, whatever, and you want to get new people exposed to this kind of community. You need to be out in those other platforms. So that's great. Now,
I'm noticing also on here, and I'll show this so people can see this. It's on the main page of if you have your site, it says wallet. You have OnStar on Stellar token purchases.
OnStar, look, that's
yeah,
just,
no.
see, yeah.
Hello, this
popped
is
in.
OnStar. How can I help you?
Yeah, no, that's what it popped. And then it says your total donation amount. So are you saying like people like ourselves that has a show or anybody that has a platform, you can ask for donations, or people can just donate to you? Is that
So what's happening? What you're seeing there is that when you donate to us to
to
build
you?
to
Oh,
OnStellar,
got it.
we reward you with tokens as a gift, right?
Got it.
Once
got
we
it.
implement that blockchain, you could use those tokens to do all sorts of things in there, to trade with other users, or simply become liquid on there in exchange for a fiat currency.
And how do you get featured? Because like in a lot of places, if you boost, you get more exposure to people on Facebook or YouTube. How do you? Because I'm sure right now we have like 40 followers. So how do you get exposed to more people than just the people that are following?
That's a great question. So what you have there is your profile page. What we wanted to do was, some people have themselves and then they have their business. So we wanted to separate the two out. So you could have your own profile page, but then you could go into pages. If you click on the icons on the far left-hand side.
Oh, far left.
Yeah, and click pages.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so you can create a page for your brand or business.
That's what we need to do.
And once you create a page for your brand,
Wasn't that what Truth Be Told? We already have
that. Was our just regular page.
Profile page, yeah. So think
see.
of pages as like almost like a YouTube channel or something like that.
So I get it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll set that up.
Yeah, so through that, so here's the cool thing about Pages. Pages is actually accessible without anybody having to log into the platform. So that means that it's also indexable by search engines like Google, so people can actually find you through there. Yeah,
that's your specialty. There.
Yeah,
I see.
So and through Pages, ultimately what we want to do is offer an e-commerce, like we said, a peer-to-peer platform. People can come in and comment. They can't actually make posts. They can only comment on what you do. You're able to have admin and editor roles where you can assign people to kind of manage the page, things like that. So that's like your own brand or business on there. Yeah.
Now, we're going to be a week, and depends when you listen to this, but if you're listening to us live right now, we're going to be at Contact in the Desert next weekend. Are you guys going to be there?
Oh, yeah. We have a booth there right next to Jimmy Church.
Oh, there you go. I wonder why.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So, yeah, we'll definitely be at Contact in the Desert. We're going to have a lot of cool, fun things and trinkets there, shirts. Some cool stickers, and then we'll also have like a workshop on how to use the platform and the benefits, and how to get the most out of the best experience out of the platform.
Now, I'm curious about your background. Now, are you into this genre, or did you just kind of get brought in because of your expertise, meaning the UFO, the paranormal, all this?
Actually, both. So I've never had a UFO experience or anything like that before, but I was into something called out of body experiences.
Oh, okay.
And I read this book by Robert Bruce called Astral Dynamics, right? Really good book. I don't even touch it anymore because every time I touch it, I have an OBE. It's insane. I'm not even joking, right?
Can we film that? No, just kidding.
Right?
Well, that alone, he's in. I mean, that's the kind of thing. If you're afraid of touching a book, because it's going to give you.
My first experience, I got locked out of my body, and I'm serious about this, right? I got locked out of my body, and I freaked out because I couldn't get back into my body. But somehow, miraculously, I got back into my body, and it was amazing. But I was also experimenting. My friends were doing this as well, and the crazy thing about this is my friends both had a very similar experience, but they were at different locations at different times. And then when we talked about it, they talked about how, you guys seen the movie Contact, right?
No,
they're going through this
yeah.
wormhole thing, and then all of a sudden they're stopped by this alien face, right? Both are telling me the same story at individual different times, right? And they're stopped by this alien face, and that's basically telling them you cannot go any further. And I thought that was the crazy. I had my little experience in my room.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, wow, that was pretty crazy. So I'm into that kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
And I'm just curious. I want to know. I mean, I'd love to see a UFO in my lifetime, or find out that there is life out there. I do believe it. I'm just waiting to see some proof of it and evidence of it.
So am I, man. That's the whole point. That's why we're here.
That's
man.
why
I need to know.
On Stellar, is for people like us to come together.
And there's all sorts of people that are at On Stellar reporting sightings. There's people.
That's what I think would be the strongest thing about this, because you put something on YouTube, a lot of people aren't going to go to that. But these people will look. Oh, you saw Bigfoot? Let's see the footage, and they'll. Believe me, it'll get out there.
Oh, yeah.
Even for people who aren't on this, if they see it and like it, these people are going to send it to everybody they know.
Yeah. Well, this is great. I think this is a great platform. I'm glad you guys created it, and I'm glad we discovered it through Jimmy Church. And
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy. And I hope it's very successful. I know we're going to do our part to help promote it. I know you guys. I think did you create like if we send people there or something like that, and they use a code or something?
Yeah, absolutely. So whenever they sign up, just let them know Truth Be Told.
Okay.
And they'll get 25 tokens.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Truth Be Told, 25 tokens. Anybody that uses that referral code. Otherwise, you only get 10 tokens without a referral code.
See,
So you get
15.
15.
We'll take
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome, right?
Yeah. So, and what is next? I know you just when did this launch?
On the 25th of April.
Wow. So just a month old.
Today's the
today's
1 month anniversary. I was pointing that out
Exactly.
before we went on the air.
And how many people have signed up so far?
We
If I
have
can
like
ask.
tens of thousands of people actually using the platform,
That's
and
great.
we have, the cool thing about it is actually having a lot of users online simultaneously, like concurrent users that are online, constantly browsing for content.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I think on the you can see on the right where
the
people
chat,
that are
yeah.
online, which is great.
And if you go to new, you'll always see like new content that's being submitted by people.
Let's go and we can show that to people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
that's great.
I think it was what was the most
a
recent?
few seconds ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Says
So
a few
you can
seconds
see,
ago.
yeah.
Well, this is great stuff, and I really hope there's something if we can do anything to help. I know we're no Jimmy Church, but we support anything like this because
Yeah, absolutely. This is terrific.
this because
Yeah,
people have supported us to help us grow to where we're at. So I think it definitely helps as a community.
It really does. Just
Yeah.
having you here, talk about it, having me here, and really thank you very much.
Of course.
And spreading the word is really what helps, and letting people know about it. And it's just awareness. So
That's great.
Because
thank you.
sometimes when you
Yeah.
put it on, Facebook and live, and people are like, either like, here he goes again with the same, But people like on Stellar, it's like, okay, like you said, everybody is.
Well, this is a dedicated thing.
Yeah.
When I used to
Yeah.
go like
It's the
RushCon
choir.
or whatever in Toronto, that
It-
would spread out in 2 seconds just because they're so into that.
And I'm looking. There's people already sharing this on Facebook. So
Awesome.
definitely. All right. Well, thank you again. And if we'll see you at Contact in the Desert.
Have a lot of fun.
Literally in a week.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
can't believe it's like this whole year has gone so fast. But we're excited. We had such a great time the last few years, and we hope you guys come out and go to OnStellar and sign up. Say Truth Be Told sent you, and
Pick up
get
the 25 coins.
25 tokens and start being part of the community. I know we're going to start really posting and
You are. That's right. Tony's going to be.
I'm good. I am the more social media
Yeah.
guy. He was like, how do I turn this thing
Wait,
on?
how do you turn on Facebook?
We hope
So-
it's much easier than Facebook and
Oh, yeah.
much, a much better experience.
I already like it better. I seriously do. I think it's clean. It's nice. Facebook's got so much nonsense.
And if you ever change, because it's funny, Facebook or YouTube, when they change, they don't just change a little bit. They change it enough to where you're like, I have no idea
Right.
how to use it.
Oh man, I've got stories for you about some of their facial recognition stuff and what Amazon's paying. Some other time,
Really?
I'd love to tell you about.
Oh, please come
This-
back, because that's a whole show in itself.
Right. He could come on and just talk about that nonsense.
I know. Would you do that?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Oh,
Cool.
awesome.
I know, yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here, but please go to onstellar.com. Sign up. Even if you don't use Truth Be Told, just sign up and enjoy the community and start participating. This way, nobody thinks you're crazy. Nobody thinks you're weird. We're all a little crazy and weird, so this is why we love this. So, but please, and just say that Truth Be Told sent you. But until next time, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and leave a comment. And yeah, spread
We'll
the
see you
word.
next week at Contact.
At Contact. All right. Until then, take care.